This is a video to help you with solving two-step equations. You should have a worksheet printed out. Number 1 on that worksheet is 3x plus 4 equals 16. So now it's going to take us 2 steps in order to solve the equation. I'm going to give you a few hints that were not in your lesson video that have helped students to do these before. One is to put a line down the equals mark, and that just shows the two sides of the equation. You have the right side over here and the left side, and all that line does is divide it up for you. Another thing that some students have found helpful is they have found it helpful to find the variable, which in our class is x, but it's part of the term, the group, 3x, so it's in a group. 3x is the group that it's in. So in order to do the first step to this, what I'd want to do is I want to isolate or get by itself this group that I've circled in red. So what I am going to do first is I'm going to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction, in order that I can eliminate the positive 4 by taking 4 away, and then the group with the x in it, 3x, is isolated. But remember how we talked, if you do something to one side of the equation, you got to do it to the other. And so 16 minus 4 is 12. And so now what I have is I have the group with the x on one side and the 12 on the other. I'm laughing at myself right now just because I just want you to know that this is the left-hand side and this is the right-hand side of the equation, but that was kind of funny. All right, let's get back to it. So we have put a line down the middle to separate our sides. I've put a circle around the variable. I know it's part of that group 3x, and so I want to do away with this plus 4, so I'm going to subtract 4, and I have to do that from both sides. Then it's down to a one-step equation. Because remember, this is 2 steps, so it's going to take 2 steps to get down to the answer. So I've taken away the 4, and now I'm going to, since that's multiplication, I'm going to divide by 3, and I'm going to find out that x in this problem is 4. And remember in our other videos that we could take it and we could replace it in the x value to find out if this is true. So this is my check over here. So it's 3 times whatever I found x to be plus 4, and we want to make sure that equals 16. So if I put 4 here, I get 12 plus 4, and that is 16. So this one checks out, and I'm good. All right. So now we're going to go to the number 2 on your worksheet, which is x over 3 minus 4 equals 3. So what we're going to do now is, again, we're going to put a line where the equals is to divide it into the 2 sides of the equation, the left side, I got it right this time, and the right side. I'm going to locate my x, and my x is here, but it is involved with the 3 on the bottom. So what I'm going to have to do here is I have the x divided by 3. So I have the subtract 4 equals 3. So again, I want to isolate or get the x over 3 by itself. So the opposite of subtracting 4 is adding 4. That's step 1. That isolates the group with my x. And then the opposite of division is multiplication. So x should equal 7 times 3, which is 21. Again, I can come over here and I am going to check my work. So in this blank where the x was, I'm now going to put the number 21. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7 minus 4 does equal 3, so it checks out. So that is the correct answer. All right, let's do number 3 together. Number 3. It's a 4x minus 2 equals 12. We're going to do this one with 2 steps, but we're going to find out in a future lesson that we're going to do it a different way. So there's actually 2 ways to do this problem, but since the x is right here mixed up in these parentheses, this is 4 times the set of parentheses. The opposite of multiplication is division, so I can divide both sides by 4, and I can cancel my 4's out, and then I have x minus 2 on this side, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I've gotten rid of the 4 in front of that group because x is in that group. I forgot to put my line down. If that helps you, it really does help some people. Then the opposite of subtract 2 is add 2, so x should be 5. So when I check my problem, I should be able to take 4. I'm going to put a number there, minus 2, and see if it equals 12. All right, so in the blank here, I'm going to put the number 5 because that was my answer. 5 minus 2 is 3, so it's 4 times 3, which is 12, and that checks out as well. Okay, so now for the 4th problem. X minus 3 over 5 equals 4. So in this problem, I'm going to put the line down the middle, and then locate my x is part of the numerator. So what I need to do to isolate it is to get rid of the denominator, and the opposite of division is multiplication. That'll get rid of the denominator and leave the numerator where the x was, and 4 times 5 is 20. Remember, you got to do it to both sides, both the left and the right side of the equation, to keep it balanced. Now the opposite of subtract 3 is add 3, so x is equal to 23. So again, if I want to check my work, I have the x, so I've got to put in a number there, minus 3 over 5. So in that blank right there goes my 23 is what I'm going to put there. So 23 minus 3 is 20. Divided by 5 is 4. And this was equal to 4 in the original problem, so that checked out. All right, number 5. 5x minus 6 equals 19. Line down the middle, dividing it into the left and right sides of the equation. Finding my x, it's in this group. The x and the 5 are a group. They are a term. I'm going to isolate that term by doing the opposite of subtract 6, which is add 6. That will isolate that group with the x in it. And then the opposite of multiplication is division, so x should equal 5. So if I wanted to check this, I'll do 5, parentheses, minus 6 equals 19. Now that's my original problem. In that blank, I'll put my x value. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 minus 6 is 19. That one checks out. All right, number 6. X over 7 plus 6 equals negative 3. Line down the middle. Circle the term that has my x value so I can isolate it. So I have plus 6. That is not part of the group or the term the x is in. So I'm going to take away the 6 from both sides. Negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9. The opposite of division to get x completely by itself is multiplication. So x is equal to negative 63. All right, we're going to check this problem. So 7 was on the bottom here. So in that blank, I have to put negative 63. Negative 63 divided by 7 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 6 is negative 3. My problem checks out. All right, now for number 7. Here is the problem. I'm going to put a line down the middle. I'm going to find that group where the x is. The x is part of this parentheses. So what's outside the parentheses is a 9. And again, in another lesson, we're going to learn a different way to do these. We're going to divide by 9 on both sides. These 9s will cancel out. X minus 1 will equal 5. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So my x value should be 6. So if I check it, I'm going to do 9 times, and then I'm going to replace that x value in a moment. I'm going to put the number I got there, and that is a 6. Well, 6 minus 1 is 5, and 5 times 9 is 45. And that's what was on the other side, so my problem checks out. One more for us to do together before you try these on your own, but this will give you some practice together and then some practice on your own. So at the top of this numerator is x plus 8, and that's where my x is. So I want to get rid of the denominator. Do that by multiplying, opposite of a division. That will leave my numerator of x plus 8, and over here on the other side, it will be 16. The opposite of adding 8 is subtracting 8, so x should equal 8. My original problem had plus 8 over a 2 like this. I've got to put an 8 in that blank. That's 16 divided by 2, which is 8, which is what was on the other side, so it checks out as well. So I'm getting the correct answers on these. Hope that you do as well. You can continue and use these examples from the first sheet and work on the problems 9 through 16. Good luck to you.